what's the reality? Are we still building as the year goes on? Have they arrived? Where's your net on this team, man?
If I said they arrived, Coach Swinney, if you ever heard a snippet of this, would shoot me dead. Because forever climbing a mountain, forever moving uphill, always improving is the Clemson way. But I think they've answered the problems from last year and have new problems to answer for this year. That's probably the best way I would describe this year's team. If you look at like a lot of the things that didn't allow us to be as successful as we have been at Clemson, which is the offense, our defense was dynamic last year. I mean, those guys, oh my gosh, they were amazing last year. So many goal line stands, so many heroic moments. It's literally our defense just coming through. And last year we couldn't move the ball. We didn't have a lot of cohesion. We had spurts there. We just couldn't get in the flow. But this year they answered those questions. As crazy as this sounds, I think about all the talent that's come to Clemson the last decade. This year's team has put the most points through 4 games.
Yeah,
dude, more than Trevor Lawrence, Taj Boyd, Travis Etienne, T. Higgins, Nuke Hopkins, Sammy Watkins. I mean, the list goes on. The guys on this team have put up more points in the first 4 games than any team to come to Clemson. And to me, that's remarkable to the coaching staff and more so to the players from last year that came back and bought in. And so I think they answered that question. The question right now, which nobody perceived it to be a question, is the defense. And do they have all the ingredients? Yes. Are they a little injury, kind of, mitigating some injuries right now or dealing with that? Yes. But at the same time, they haven't been as dominant as people want them to be, claiming the defensive line that they have. They are all freaks. But to me, what will make them a championship really contender team is what the defense is going to do the next couple of weeks, especially this week coming up against NC State. Can the offense be consistent, and can the defense kind of rally back and be who everybody believes they can be?
Okay. All right. We got Devin Leary coming to town on game days coming. It's a big deal, right?
Look, first game day since 2015 or 2016. I think it's –
wow.
Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, that stat you threw out there is big, man. I mean, because you watch Clemson. You're obviously on the inside, but when I watch Clemson, you take into account a quarterback that's kind of coming into his own. You take into account a new offensive coordinator. And I say all that to say, boy, I don't even need to know all that. I just watch that football team and go, man, they've got so much room to grow offensively. I mean, and I'm talking about just from the play caller and the quarterback coming together, the quarterback coming into his own. If they're already putting up numbers like that, good gosh, man, when they start hitting on all cylinders, they're going to be a tough stop. There's no question.
And y'all, I mean, we're all hopeful. I don't know if everybody's a multi-sport athlete, but I would compare it to basketball. Like, to me, the last game was kind of like a 30-point game when you knew somebody dropped 30 points. Up until this point, it's kind of like a quiet, like 20 ball. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't been super dynamic. We found ways to kind of manufacture points throughout the game. And if they can really start to put it all together, like last week, the offense was dynamic. I mean, big plays all over the field, big runs, big throwing catches, yards at the contact. And that, to me, that's what Clemson offense has been known to be, that explosive, get a lot of plays in. If you want to do a shootout, we can do a shootout with you. That's kind of like the culture, the DNA has been established. And so if they, with all that being said, like you said, to me, you still see the room for improvement. If they can put it all together, they could be arguably one of the best offenses in the country when it's all said and done.
Tell me this, Rench. Like when I watch Clemson, the Clemson of old, they could do 2 things. And I think it's different right now in Clemson. I heard you. I chimed into your spaces. Good job, by the way, after that game. Great call getting that done. That was well done, sir. But they usually have 1 or 2 or 3 receivers that turn the 50-50 ball into, what'd you call it, an 80-20 ball at Clemson?
80-20 ball, right.
They waste a lot of downs trying to find that guy right now. And that's on the offensive side of the football. So I think Clemson's that's one room for improvement, or they're going to have to adjust and do things a little bit differently. And on the defensive side of the football, the Clemson teams that I know and that I've watched dominate, and really all defenses that dominate, they can do things with their down 4 that most people have to do with 5, 6, or 7 guys.
Right.
I don't know that Clemson – I know we thought their D-line was really, really good, and they may be good. But it looks to me like Clemson can't stop the run and can't consistently pressure the passer with their front four the way that Clemson defenses of the past have been able to do. And that's a game changer for Clemson on that side of the ball.
No, as much as I want to argue for the sake that I know what it could look like, but I can't argue that it's not looking like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when I watched, even like last game, one of the biggest things, we wanted to be the defense to basically go zone, stack the box where they couldn't run it, and trust that we got elite defensive backs, which we do at Clemson, supposedly 4 or 5-star guys. I mean, it's the best you're going to get when you go out there recruiting. Ain't like we're recruiting some Joe Schmoes out there.
Right.
And we want to line up and play man. And we got torched. I mean, it was like, all right, and these are like dudes I play with, so it's all love, but at the same time, let's call a spade a spade. It's like, we got torched, bro. And they know it. Like, I mean, it was, all right, one down, okay, give up one big play. But it was play after play, PI after PI. And some of them, I think the refs were tripping a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, all right, 10 PIs, it can't be just all be the ref. You know, something's on us. And then we go to zone. And that was kind of the end of the like fourth quarter. And they ran the ball. I'm talking about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 a clip. And that's you're counting on that front four and kind of like the linebackers to, hey, fill the gap and make a play. And, bro, they were running the ball at will. And so, yeah, I think there's on the defensive side, like, I mean, Coach Swins will be the first one to say they got to improve because if Clemson can score 35 points a game, that should be able to win a game, realistically. You shouldn't have to have a shootout every week. So hopefully this week is Clemson has a solid day on offense, has a decent day on defense, and holding the guys from NC State. I think you got a top 10, another W on the books.
Ooh. Okay. All right. So I want to follow up on that. We're going to hear from Miles Murphy. Do you talk to him, which is an amazing interview. We'll hear from that in a moment. But here's my question. Devin Leary's coming in, and we know what he can do. He came out this summer to the Elite 11 as a counselor. It's him, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Caleb Williams, Dorian Thompson-Robinson were the guys. And he was, he could deal. He could ride with those guys from an arm talent standpoint. The guy's got massive chip on his shoulder. This is their year, right? Last year, NC State went on a nice little run towards the end of the year. But this is a big game. So my question is, it felt like 2 weeks ago we were debating, like, is DJ the guy? Where's his confidence at? You know that better than anybody. Now, is this a game where if you're like, he's got to throw dudes open in this game? How confident are you that he can do it, knowing that's exactly what Devin Leary can do? And it might become another 51-49 shootout.
Man, I would say I think DJ is playing himself to be one of the best quarterbacks in this league in the country. If he keeps playing like he has, I mean, last game and the games before that probably didn't get as much hype. He's been throwing some really good balls. I mean, like some really like only that guy can catch the ball, and also like you're a quarterbacks guy. There's sometimes you can catch the ball for the receiver if you throw it good enough. He's been throwing some of those type balls where it's like if he don't put it right there, I mean, the receiver's not catching the ball. And so I think he can – I mean, to me last week, just as much as you want to see defense step up, it's kind of one of those games as a coach where you're, like, so happy to see that kid do that.
Yeah.
And so hopefully you don't have to do that every game. But I think he's shown that he can do it. And I would just say on the NC State, because I feel like the Wolfpack, I respect their fan base. They're crazy as hell from NC State, though. Those like that, going to NC State last year to Raleigh, people don't sleep. Wolfpack Nation gets up, bro. And so to me, if you look at the landscape of ACC, especially I think out of the last 8 years, the ACC champions come from our side of the division, besides Pitt. Pitt won it last year. Before that, it was between Clemson and Florida State. To me, right now, it's kind of becoming a shift. Florida State's having a good year, but they haven't been really good the past 3 or 4 years. NC State was able to get there last year and play Pitt. Or no, it was Wake.
Yeah.
But to me, this is like, all right, y'all beat us last year. Hats off to you. Down year, whatever people want to call it. But we went to y'all's place. Y'all beat us finally, and you got to respect it. If I'm NC State's coach, Dave Doran, I'm saying, hey, we want to be the team that we work hard to be and be the team we claim to be. We got to go to Clemson and cut the head off the dragon. And I'm like, Clemson, if they want it, hey, look, it's yours for the taking. College game day, top 10 matchup. if y'all really want to be that team, y'all say y'all want to be, come to the Valley and do it. And we're gonna see. I'm excited about this game because even Coach. Look, I'm gonna keep it real. Coach Sweeney and Coach Dorn, Coach Sweeney and Coach Clausen, they buddy. Coach Dorn and Coach Sweeney. It's a little like it's always been like that though. It's cool. It's a little spunky little rivalry we got. It's kind of been some stuff in the past with like a computer. They thought we were cheating on the sidelines.
Ooh.
The funniest thing. Go look at these clips, people. I think it was 2017. We were playing. It was Bradley Chubb. He plays for the Broncos now. Defensive end and went like top couple rounds. He was doing this thing with Kelly Brown. Every time Kelly Brown would run, he would take his towel and throw it in there. But it was kind of cute, but it was like every down. And so it's always been a little spice to this one. Every game's important, but this one's got a little edge to it. And you've seen the past kind of gets a little chippy. So I'm excited for this game. I really am. Like, I'm excited.
All right, Clint, who you got in this game?
I can't tell, D.
Yeah. Sure. All right, Clint, who you got real quick, and then we're gonna get to Miles Murphy. Who you picking?
Look, I'm gonna ride with Clemson because I think Clemson's just in another category right now. But the two things I mentioned about Clemson with they're gonna do some things differently offensively than what they historically have done in the last 6, 7, 8, 10 years. In terms of generating a big play in a different way, or they're gonna keep wasting downs. And they're going to have to mix it up on defense. So I'm not real confident in it, but Clemson's a better football team. They should win that ball game, I believe.